Hey MotoAmerica fans, this is Cam Peterson. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the MotoAmerica YouTube channel for more coverage. Also like and comment.
It's time for the MotoAmerica AMA FIM North American Road Race Championship. From Virginia International Raceway in Alton, Virginia, it's MotoAmerica Superbikes at Virginia, our second round of 2021. Day one race action is moments away from kicking off here at VIR, and we are excited about it. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Supersport Show, and welcome to the broadcast booth. I'm Greg White, standing alongside Jason Pridmore, two-time champion. Now, Jason, here in the Supersport category, the tail of the tape is Sean Dillon Kelly dominating Road Atlanta, our first round.
Absolutely, Greg. He came out with a different attitude, it seems, this year. Working really well with his team, gets down to Atlanta, does the double down there. Great way to kick off the season. And you can see here, Greg, right from the get-go, from qualifying on, Sean Dillon Kelly really didn't look like he was going to be touched too much. Escalante put up a fight in race one, had a big crash on Sunday morning warm-up, did Escalante, or Saturday afternoon qualifying. They were able to get the bike back together, but I don't think anybody was going to get near the number 40 all weekend. He just looked consistently fast and walks out of there, like I said, Greg, with the double. Yeah,
coming after a long off-season, Sean Dillon Kelly put a stamp on it. Yeah, you can see 5 wins last season. He's already got 2 this season, and he looks like a season favorite without question. Now, Richie Escalante, on the other hand, the number 1 plate holder, he's not 100%, and Hannah Lopa had a chance to catch up with Richie Escalante.
Greg, it's only round 2, but the fight for the championship in the Supersport class is already fierce right out the gate. Defending champion Richie Escalante is stepping it up big time. You had an incredible first weekend back in the MotoAmerica paddock. Tell us how it went.
Yeah, you know, after finish Atlanta, I feel great. You know, 40 points is good, but I'm not looking for the 40 points. You know, it's just the first round. For me, it's just pushing my maximum. I try to win. It's not possible, so this is a new weekend. Just I try to do my best.
Richie, 2 weeks ago, you suffered an injury during training. Elaborate a little bit about what happened and how that's affecting you so far this weekend.
Yes, I broke my collarbone on my road bicycle when training before Virginia. So, yeah, for sure it's more difficult. I have 1 plate with 7 screws, so I have a little bit pain. So I hope I'm working with my team to improve the bike and feeling better to compare Atlanta. So I'm trying to do my best, and I hope to feeling great to try to win this weekend.
Best of luck out there, Richie. Guys.
Very interesting. Richie Escalante hurt. But, you know, an emerging star in Supersport is Rocco Landers, who had a down and up first weekend of the season. Here's Jamie Howe with more.
Despite being just 16 years old, Rocco Landers is already a 3-time MotoAmerica class champion. He made the move up to Supersport for the 2021 season, and it came with mixed results in the first stop at Road Atlanta. He crashed out of race number 1, and while he was upset, he was physically okay, which left just bike work to be done before race 2. He was able to rebound and turn it into a 3rd-place finish, but what made that even more impressive is the fact they had too much traction control dialed into the bike, but Rocco was able to recognize it, correct it, and then race it to earn some points. His dad and crew chief Stoney Landers says that as long as the bike is there, Rocco is more than capable of doing something with it. It's these challenges that are going to turn him into a better racer. And with as tight as the competition is in the Supersport category, they feel like Rocco is right where he needs to be.
Yeah, Rocco Landers definitely coming out. Jason, taking a look at this new class, new challenge for Rocco Landers after having his way with championships in his first, forget he's only 16 years old.
And we see such rare mistakes from him. To see that in race 1, but the way he rebounded in race 2, definitely agree with his father. He's in the right class, and he'll only get better from here.
So Rocco Landers has Virginia International Raceway on his mind. Let's take a look at the Yamaha track map, Jason, because this one is fun.
Yeah, it's really fun, Greg. And when you get the weather we have here right now, it's even better. Turn 1's going to be the main place to get a lot of overtaking done after you're drafting there down that big, long straightaway. We've got a series of S's, a lot of switchbacks through turn 5, 6 to turn 7. Big, steep, uphill right-hander. It takes you across the top of that ridge, Greg, to turn 10. From turn 10 all the way back down, it's downhill. Very tricky last corner coming onto that front straightaway. You want to get a good drive out of there so you can get to that finish line first.
Absolutely spectacular here at VIR. Now this guy, number 52, Nolan Lampkin, already a podium finish this season. Can he do it again?
And that's the million-dollar question. Can he do it again? Shondell and Kelly, as they prepare, the Umbrella girls and guys down there getting ready to go. And this will be a 19-lap race for the Supersport. It's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a hot one. And going fast for 19 laps is going to be difficult. But looking at the points, and we talked about that and saw that. And we saw Rocco having, a bad day, and they followed it up with a good day. It's crazy to think he's only in 6th in championship. He's up to 6th in championship points, basically in 5th, tied with Nolan Lampkin, as well as Thermiotis. It's incredible that you can have such a bad day on day 1 and turn it around that quick on day 2.
Just a couple guys, had some issues at Atlanta. Some guys had a good first race. Other guys had problems the second race and seemed to work out where, even though Rocco didn't get any points the first day, really maximized with the podium on the second day. And you see Richie trying to get that collarbone iced up. The ice not only kind of helps get the swelling down, but also it'll numb it a little bit too.
Yeah, keep it frozen. He had 7 screws, a plate put in there. Got to stay off in bicycles, man. Motorcycles where it's at, and they're much less dangerous than the bicycles. It seems like a little bit of giggle there. I talked to him. I said, you wouldn't know it any otherwise. You look at him, and he's still dressed up, just like normal. But you got to do that training. And you see Ben Smith, and he's 3rd in championship point. I was talking about Rocco not being too far behind. Ben Smith, he's tied with Sam Lockoff, another young gun that's, moved up in class. They're 20 points behind Escalante. But really, Escalante, Shondell Kelly, they've been in the class of field. Who's going to be in that next spot? Somebody's got to step up and be there.
And this weekend it's been Benjamin Smith. Yesterday was really fast right away in practice and qualifying. Same thing this morning. He's always kind of been toward the end of last year, always kind of close to the podium, but not there. 4th, 5th, but and almost there maybe the first couple laps. Hopefully today, and it looks like he has the pace. That he can settle in with Sean and Richie and be there the whole race, and hopefully it'd be cool to see him get his first podium.
Yeah, not looking at top 5s, now looking at 3rd, maybe even battling, for that 1st or 2nd. Ben Smith, Jason Wygant, he's getting really close. He's only 2/10 off the pace in qualifying.
Well, here's what's interesting about Ben Smith. He's actually a college student at Penn State, but his big advantage is because of the pandemic, college has had to switch to virtual learning. So he's been able to spend the winter in South Carolina doing a lot more training than he would have if he had to take the normal college classes that he did a year ago. So he's finished his 2nd year of college now, but he did most of it while still being able to train and ride, and that's a big factor in his improvement this year.
And that Nittany Lion trying to roar his way up to the front. And, yeah, that's helped out a lot of collegians this year, not having to do the on-campus stuff, able to do the things at home, all their schoolwork, except for the athletes. They have to be there for that certain amount of time to perform. But here's where Ben Smith is an athlete, and that's at MotoAmerica. You'll see him on the 88, starting on that inside of the front row. Shondell Kelly is quick time in qualifying, a 1:27.09. That's about 2/10 faster than Escalante and Ben Smith. Qualifying pace is one thing. Race pace is another one. You got to keep it going for 19 laps. It's going to be a long race. They're going to be packed in there tight, but we'll see if Shondell Kelly can pull away from Escalante and Smith. Supersport coming up now.
Today's Supersport coverage is sponsored by Geico Motorcycle. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on your car or motorcycle insurance. And by Dunlop, the official tire of the MotoAmerica Championship Series.
A shot of Richie Escalante before he took off on his sighting lap, Jason, icing that collarbone. We just heard about that.
Yeah, probably the best thing he did was get that thing operated on the day right after. You get a plate put in that thing and some bolts and things, and it's going to make that thing feel a lot more solid. Qualifying after this morning, Shondell Kelly, our fastest guy, with Richie Escalante, late charge, gets himself up to 2nd. Benjamin Smith's been fast all weekend. Great to see. Mesa, Sam Lockoff, amazing in 5th. Rocco Landers is 6th. Back to row number 3, Xavier Zayat, Nolan Lampkin. Anthony Mazziato filling in for Dominic Doyle, injured at the moment. Max Engels, Gabriel Da Silva, Alex Thermiotis then in the back of row 4, outside row 4. Soltis, Nassani, Liam Grant, Nate Minster, CJ LaRoche, and Zaragoza are going to round out row 6. Cooper McDonald, Petrati, Chuck Ivey, Thomas McQuigg, Austin Miller, and Tony Blackall. are going to round out our field.
So we have those 25 riders lining up for Supersport, an event that is scheduled for 19 laps. A look at those two championship favorites, and then on to the 88. Benjamin Smith having a great run
weekend.
this weekend.
And he's been very fast all weekend. And, you know, this is a spot where the two guys that we have seen up front for the last year, the separation isn't as much. This young man, Benjamin Smith, has closed that gap this weekend. We've seen him go fast in places. Mesa in fourth had an incident this morning, but he's been quick as well. I expect a few of these guys to go with these leaders at the beginning of the race.
Are you ready for Supersport race number 1? When these lights go off, we're getting after it. Sean Dillon Kelly, M4X Star Suzuki. What a launch as he heads us into turn number 1. He'll lead the way.
Really important to get in here safe and get out of here, because you can see Lockoff back there. He gets himself moved up into 5th. Really impressed with his progress, but it's going to be SDK, his teammate, who gets the early jump with Escalante, Benjamin Smith, and Stefano Mesa following in tow.
So Sean Dillon Kelly picking up where he left off at Road Atlanta, but there's Richie Escalante. He's going to go up the inside. He does. He'll take over the spot.
Makes a big move early, and when you think about it, Craig, Escalante right now, he's got to go while he probably feels good. I would think that after 19 laps, or at least 14 or 15 of those 19, he's going to start getting sore. So if he can get out front early, and you can see SDK goes up underneath him as they roll off into turn 7, gets right back by, this is going to just help Benjamin Smith stay there a little longer. Everybody's on obviously new tires to get started, so when everything's working good, this is probably why Escalante wants to try to get himself up front and control the pace a little bit.
Second lead change so far for SDK 40. Sean Dillon Kelly out of Florida, leading us down towards the front straightaway. Impressive run we have from Stefano Mesa, who went down this weekend. And when his bike crashed, it looks like he was hurting, limping off a little bit. So Mesa not 100% either. Onto the front straightaway we come. Not much of a straightaway here at VIR as they bend the bikes through the kink. Turn 14 and down into turn 1. The top 4 have broken away. Will it be another change? No, it looks like Benjamin Smith has slotted himself into second.
Yeah, just rolls himself by Escalante on that front straightaway. He was able to get in that Kawasaki's draft, Greg, and now he's right on the back. And I really feel like Benjamin's got pace this weekend. If he could just kind of stay in touch with these guys originally like he's doing right now. See, somebody's gone off down there in turn number 1. Looks like bike number 22.
Yeah, bike number.
Just ran straight in turn 1, but Benjamin Smith's had, like, literally, Greg, yesterday morning, I was trying to think when the last time SDK or Escalante hadn't led a session in the last year or so. Benjamin Smith actually led yesterday morning's first session.
So Benjamin Smith, the 88, in second spot, Hannah.
Greg, this is his 4th season in the Supersport class, but he's made a significant step up this year, already getting really good results. And I asked him, you know, what's making the difference? Is it maturity? Is it more years of experience? And he said, this is the first time that I've been on the same team 2 years in a row. So we work really well together. We have a great routine, a great relationship. And it's also the same bike, and we've been able to continue to improve upon that. We have data we can refer to from years past. Even though we did not race here last year, it's still been a significant step forward for the team overall.
All right, so Benjamin Smith putting himself in a position. Jason, I don't know, looking at Smith, is he going to try to go for this lead and lead this Supersport race? That M4X Star Suzuki is awfully fast. These top 4 bikes, a Suzuki leads. In second spot is a Yamaha and a couple of Kawasaki's. As they bunch up in turn 1, where's Escalante going?
Yep, and this is Benjamin just holding his line. Nice work from Benjamin there. Escalante pressured, but you can see Escalante opened up the door for Mesa. And how about this kid has caught these guys, 28.7. Sam Lockoff was quite a ways back when they came across the first lap. He just goes and runs 28.7 to reel in this lead 4 guys. Sam Lockoff on the move.
Rookie in the class. Oh, Lockoff
runs over the inside curb in there.
Yeah, a little bit of a moment on his M4X Star Suzuki. So this Yamaha and a couple of Kawasaki's bookended by these GSXR 600s, the 44 and the 40.
This is literally when you see a young man like Sam, he's probably thinking to himself, wait a minute, how'd I get here? You know, he's been working really hard during the offseason, putting in a lot of laps, a lot of time on this bike in Jennings, Florida, and he comes here to VIR, his second race ever on a 600, and he's running with guys that he's seen winning races the last couple of years. Benjamin Smith just looks like the danger man, and I was really impressed with Benjamin's patience down in turn 1 on the last lap. He was close enough, kind of got a good look at where SDK's braking markers are going to be, his roll-off points and such. So Benjamin's going to have an idea now a little bit better of where he might be able to do something. Now Mesa here is going to get a double draft. Escalante is going to get a triple draft. And Benjamin's got a draft on his own as he comes up the front straightaway trying to make a move.
Just doesn't look like he's got that oomph right there in the corner that the Suzuki has. There's the 37 of Mesa fanning out wide in 3rd spot. So we'll hold this as Sean Dillon Kelly, Benjamin Smith, and Mesa occupy the podium. Jamie, do you have more on Stefano Mesa?
Well, you mentioned he had that off this morning. I went and saw him just before this race started, and he was sitting inside in the air conditioning. He said, you know what, I'm really sore. It's going to take me a lap or two to even figure out if I'm physically strong enough to be out there in this race. So seeing him fight, it's really promising, not just for this race, but for tomorrow also. He had a lot of chest pain. He wasn't sure about the condition of the bike. So a lot of questions being answered here for Stefano Mesa.
Yeah, and you know, it's funny, adrenaline pays a big dividend there, Jamie, and as you would look back now, Rocco Landers has gone quickest lap of the race, 28.4, running 7th. I believe he's got himself up to 6th. You'll see him just in the background of our shot there. He's starting to close in on lockoff. We're going to have 6 people here in a minute locked into this race. As a good look at Rocco as he's moving his way forward, Greg.
What a job Rocco Landers is doing. Of course, the dominant rider in Junior Cup for 2 seasons and Twins last year, 3 championships already for the young rider from Oregon. Rocco Landers trying to make his way on the back of this group. Couple of little spots where there's some separation. Sam Lockoff, both these riders you're looking at in your frame, first season in Supersport.
Yeah, both racing against each other in the Junior Cup last year. Rocco still seems to be having some trouble getting that bike off the line. It started row 2, fell behind these guys, Mazzi Otto and Gabriel da Silva early, but you can see now Rocco trying to go up the inside of Lockoff as they go into turn 1. He's going to make that pass. And he's got those lead 4 in front of him now, so he's going to try to chip away at that gap. As you see, Rocco goes even quicker, 28.2. Our leaders that lap by, Greg, were some half a second slower than what Rocco Landers was on that lap. And he had no problems. He caught Sam in the right spot when they came on that front straightaway. He was able to draft him. So, you know, again, that's gonna make his lap time even a little bit better. So he'll be able to close down this gap.
Rocco Landers, number 97 on the Landers Racing Yamaha R6. Not a clean weekend altogether. Getting information from his crew chief and dad, Stoney Landers, telling us there's been electrical issues that they replaced. And so they're pretty far behind in terms of setting up that bike for Rocco Landers, but he is riding around those issues. And more importantly, Jason, he's getting an incredible amount of data looking at these 4 in front of him. It's Sean Dillon Kelly leading the way from Benjamin Smith. Richie Escalante in 3rd. He's your number 1 plate. And then Mesa still hanging in right now. That sore body trying to figure out where he's going to make this thing work as we are working lap 6 of 19.
When Jamie was doing her report just now on Mesa, we saw Escalante right around the outside of Mesa in turn 3 to put himself in that spot. And you can see Benjamin Smith again goes tight. The thing I like about what Benjamin's doing right now is he's moving himself over to the right-hand side of the track. So he's not opening himself up for anybody to go up underneath him. All the meanwhile, he can sit there and kind of judge his pace against SDK going into turn 1. Anybody that's going to go around Benjamin is going to have to go around the outside of him as they come across this kink here at the start finish line, and that's a pretty sketchy place to do it, Greg. If you've ridden around this place long enough, you can see Escalante now dive bombs underneath Benjamin Smith as they go into turn 4.
Escalante not messing about in this one, even with that broken collarbone and plate. Escalante feeling it right now, and you can see that it broke the rhythm of Benjamin Smith, so Smith has got some work to do to stay on the back of these two. So it's Sean Dillon Kelly.
Escalante's in deep, Greg. That's going to allow Benjamin to go back up underneath him. You can see his braking point was pushed up a little bit, and he got drawn in there. Makes a mistake, gets back by. I like what I see out of Benjamin right now. A lot of patience, just trying to put these laps in. Look, we got 19 laps in this race. We've only ran 6. Let's let this thing play out a little bit in front of us. That looks like what Benjamin's doing now. I'd also like to see Benjamin do at least a lap or so up front because he's had pace on his own as well this weekend. So if he can figure out a way to get by SDK, especially now he's seen that he's got some shots fired from behind him, might be a good opportunity for him to go try to take the lead of this race just to see if he can separate the guys a little bit.
Benjamin Smith on that Northeast Cycle Outlet Racing Yamaha.
This time, Greg, he's far enough back where he's going to get in the draft, and he might be able to slingshot by the time they get down to turn 1.
Turn 1 is kind of downhill and a little bit sketchy. Oh, Benjamin Smith not going to do it. So Benjamin Smith right now showing us he's got a good head on his shoulders. Currently at Penn State University, looking for a degree in public relations and advertising, set to graduate in about a year and a half. And Escalante going to try him again? No.
I like it. This time Benjamin just kind of closed the door. He could see that that was coming again. And Benjamin's going to know now that Escalante doesn't have it to go around the outside of him down in turn 1. So he's going to be ready for that shot in turn 4 lap after lap now. But I also believe this is going to give Benjamin the hurry up. And I really believe the next lap, he's seen that move down there in turn number 1 a couple times of trying to go up underneath SDK. If he can just be a little bit closer and release that lever and just try to throw a shot at Sean Dillon Kelly in turn 1, I think it would do Benjamin's head some good, because he's not going to have to keep dealing with that pressure of Escalante behind him.
Well, let's talk about dealing with pressure, Jason. How impressed are you with Sean Dillon Kelly right now, and the fact that there's been tons of pressure on him the entire race, and I know he can hear those guys behind him fighting it, and he is not flinched at all.
Hitting his marks. That's what he's got to do. I mean, when we saw him in Atlanta, just even listening to him talk, hearing what he had to say about things, he's just right now, he's trying to run his own race, do his own thing. Now they've got a couple of new guys coming to the party in Mesa and Benjamin Smith, and we've been waiting for that.
Jason, in regards to Sean Dillon Kelly, you're saying how hard he's fighting, and people would be surprised to know he got really sick after Atlanta. Some kind of flu, was running, a fever over 100 degrees Fahrenheit for a few days in a row. Didn't get the opportunity to train as much as he normally does. He's very passionate and takes it very seriously. And when he finally was able to train again, he was really worried about his strength heading into this weekend and wondering, how much that was going to impact him. Obviously, from these lap times and based on his performance so far, it's not holding him back one bit.
No, Hannah, you got to remember that, unfortunately getting sick is part of it sometimes, and these guys run their bodies really hard. He's just got to stay up on the fluids, and they train so hard that their bodies actually will recover a little bit sooner too. I think it's more of a rider's mentality of just knowing that they haven't been able to do anything for 3 or 4 days, probably feeling like we give something up to the other guys that we know are training as hard as they can. And I think it's more just a way for you to, when you do feel better and you do come back, you train that extra a little bit harder. But SDK is in such great shape that a sickness, even if it's a week long or whatever, he's going to be able to bounce back pretty quickly.
And it didn't change Sean Dillon Kelly's focus at all getting sick after Atlanta. He changed his mindset, the way he approaches a race weekend coming into the 2021 season. Rather than worrying about his overall one-lap pace, which is what he was doing last year, trying to be as quick as Escalante each and every session, he decided instead to focus on his race pace, and he feels like that's what really made the difference in getting those wins in the first round and then having the speed off the truck here this weekend.
Yeah, and you can see there, Benjamin Smith is just under constant fire from Escalante. That time he let the lever off so that Escalante couldn't go around the outside of him. Now, the last time we came through here, turn 3 and 4, we've seen Escalante go up the inside of Benjamin here. Last time he tried to go around the outside. You could see Ben, very smart move, getting himself over to the left-hand side there, not opening up that door. He wants to be able to control where he's at there, but SDK is doing such a nice job of controlling this pace at the front right now and not letting anybody really get near him. He's really good in the right spots.
And the pace is hot. The last time by, the top 5 set the fastest personal laps of the race, with Richie Escalante doing it overall, a 1:28.1. So the pace continues to be ramped up as we get deeper and deeper into this race. Sean Dillon Kelly continuing to lead the way from Benjamin Smith, Richie Escalante, Stefano Mesa, and Rocco Landers still hanging around in 5th spot.
Yeah, Rocco just wasn't, he got there, didn't he, Greg? And he just wasn't able to kind of get that gap closed. He also was in those 28s, like you say. Here you go. Good look at Rocco. Really looked like he was going to come forward and get up with those guys. You can see that they've dropped Sam Lockoff now a fair ways back. Sam on that last lap, 29.3, so he's about a second off of what the leaders are. Rocco's doing the same times, but just can't quite get that gap closed up.
Pit board for Rocco Landers. If you're new to motorcycle road racing here in MotoAmerica, the only way that teams can communicate with riders during the course of the race. The 97 Rocco Landers in his rookie season, as you have Escalante trying to find a way around Benjamin Smith in 3rd, the #1 plate on the Honos Racing team. And right behind him is Mesa. I mean, Jason, you got to look at this field right now, and every single rider is so impressive in what they're doing. Mesa dealing with these injuries and maintaining this pace. Sean Dillon Kelly out front, just dealing with all of this pressure. Benjamin Smith, who has shown moments that he can be up in the mix, now proving it to all of us, and he's doing a great job not only to maintain the pace, but to race against Richie Escalante, your reigning champ.
Yeah, and when we've seen Benjamin, unfortunately, make some mistakes early in races when I have felt like he's had the pace before. What we're seeing today, to me, looks like a much more mature Benjamin Smith. He's calculated a lot more today. He looks like he's making plans. He's watching what these guys are doing, studying. This goes a long way in a young man's career, being able to realize, hey, I actually rode with the best. When you see the pace, it changes your mindset from weekend to weekend. He's going to go into every weekend now realizing that he can ride with Sean Dillon Kelly and he can ride with Richie Escalante. And the same goes for Mesa. We've seen Stefano for a number of years now racing in the 1,000 Superstock class. He came to Indy last year on a 600 and had immediate success. And then obviously this morning in Superstock 1,000 or Stock 1,000, we didn't see him, so he's probably saving himself for this race.
Boy, what a job the 88 is doing, huh, Hannah?
Jason, you mentioned he's really dicing it up with our defending champion, Richie Escalante, but Benjamin Smith is a champion in his own right. He was our 2017 KTM RC Cup champ. This race marks his 49th start in the Supersport class. His best finish so far has been a 4th place. So being in contention for the podium, I'm sure he's out there thinking, well, it's about time.
Yeah, there's no question. You know, you think about that. 2017, he's been here 18, 19, and 20 and hasn't got to see the podium yet. This is obviously his best shot. And he just looks solid right now on the 88. And, you know, this is sometimes what happens. It takes some people a little bit longer to mature into a ride like he's showing right now. And you can see he's really good through the last half of the lap as well. Him and STK kind of pull away from those other two guys by the time they get to the front straightaway. You can even see now, Greg, that gap looks like it's a little bit bigger from second to third.
Yeah, we're talking about Benjamin Smith. And Jason, when I had my conversation with him, as Escalante goes a little bit wide. So when I was talking to Benjamin Smith, the one thing he was telling me is that he knows he can win championships when he was on this KTM. He hasn't lost the confidence in himself. But it's like what we were talking about earlier, the fact that he is with his team for a second year. They do have data and information available that they can continue to build on, and that's just furthering his confidence. And this is, well, this could be the race where we see the coming out party of Benjamin Smith in Supersport.
Yeah, honestly, I've been waiting for it myself. I've really liked Benjamin, and we saw when he was on the KTM 390 Cup, he did things a little bit differently than the others and had a pretty dominant season. So this right here has been coming. So can't take enough away. Can't take anything away from that number 40 though. Like you said earlier, Greg, it's hard to lead these races from the front and just continue to pound out laps and see +0 on your board. You're riding as hard as you possibly can, and when you feel like, all right, I'm not pulling away, but he hasn't really seen a wheel, hasn't really had any pressure put underneath him. The last time by, 28.1, 28.2, the two fastest personal best laps for the two leaders in first and second. Escalante, 28.6, along with Mesa, 28.6. So they got pulled away from a little bit, and you can see Mesa has now made the move around Escalante. Mesa is on the charge on this lap, trying to reel in those two guys at the front again.
I want to go back to Benjamin Smith for just a second. We talk about his team and how much data gathering they did last year. Northeast Cycle Outlet, it's a small family-run organization. Kyle Alexander's at the helm. His dad, Mike, works on the bike. Kyle's brother-in-law, Jonathan, does all of their computer electronics work. And they were looking forward to this race in particular because nobody ran here last year. We said they were gathering all of the data at all of the tracks last year, but this one was kind of like a clean slate for them with the competition that's out there. So we're seeing how they really stack up against everybody just toe-to-toe.
Yeah, Kyle's a great guy. I've known Kyle a little bit for the last couple of years, and obviously his dad, Mike, on the wrenches. And it's got to be a comfortable spot for Benjamin to be in right now. So, but look at that 37, Greg. 37 of Stefano Mesa just goes 27.9.
Unbelievable.
27.9 for Stefano Mesa. He closes right back up onto the back now of both Benjamin Smith and Sean Dillon Kelly. This is the fastest guy on the track, and he does it, Greg, very late in this race.
Look at what we're seeing from Mesa after a disaster earlier on. Trying to find out how he feels on the bike. I guess he is all sorted. So you have Sean Dillon Kelly, M4X Star Suzuki, who's leading us. Has been the entire race. He's been putting on quite a show. Benjamin Smith, a 128.3 to keep him in tow. but 0.4 of a second quicker. Last lap by was the 37 of Stefano Mesa. Richie Escalante starting to fade. No question, Jason.
No, I don't know. We always say that, but look, he's really trying to put a clean lap together here,
but you
Greg.
have to think that he's got to take a couple of breaths.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, you got to take a corner or two off to gather yourself. I mean, broken collarbone just a week and a half ago.
Yep.
You know, he's Superman. There's no doubt about it. As Mesa Tesa looks over his shoulder, wants to see who's there. But Richie Escalante trying desperately to put his Honos Racing Team motorcycle on the podium. But right now, it's these three. The question becomes, with 6 laps to go in this race, is anybody going to have any challenge for Sean Dillon Kelly?
Well, I can tell you right now, the number 1 would love to see Benjamin Smith or Stefano Mesa take a shot at the number 40. When you think about championship, and it's early to think about that in round 2, but we're going to some places, and you can see Lockoff has gone straight in turn 1 and got himself back. He's getting himself back on the track. We're going to some places, Greg, where SDK was extremely good. Being our 4th and 5th rounds are going to be at the Ridge and Laguna Seca, places where that Suzuki worked incredible. Right now, he's got his main guy with a broken collarbone that he's had to battle for the championship. So SDK wants to pile on some points here, get a couple more wins if he can to distance himself, and then he's going into some of the races that he was really good at last year. Doubled at Laguna Seca. So we didn't get to race here last year, like we heard Jamie talking about. And for a lot of these guys, getting the right setups yesterday morning was crucial and critical. But Escalante just keeps running wide just a little bit at the top of turn 10. But Greg, he's still in this with 5 to go.
Starting to fan out a little bit. Escalante is just like, okay, I got you.
Got to keep grinding.
Got to keep grinding, yep. Mesa. I see you there. 2 riders not at 100%, just digging so deep in this one to get a result. And Jason, take me in the mindset of Benjamin Smith at this point, because you know you have this thing like, wow, the win is right there, but my first podium's right there as well. Oh.
They've got a back. I just looked
back marker, yeah.
From where we sit, our commentary position, we can see bikes going through, and I can see that there's going to be some back markers that they're going to run up on. And one of the things I was going to mention here at VIR, there's a couple of places, especially when you come into this area, that are so critical that if you catch back markers in this spot, it can really bunch things back up. You want to be the first guy through them. Getting back to what you're talking about with Benjamin, you know, right now he's done such a nice job of just controlling what he wants. He's been able to thwart the challenges of people behind him, although Mesa had a look just now up underneath him in turn 1. I think if you're Benjamin Smith, you've kind of got a chance to look at where STK is a little better, maybe a little bit worse. You've got to start to really make a plan now with 5 laps. How much tire does he have underneath him? These are some of the things that he's got to start to think about. Escalante slowly bringing himself back up into this mix with these guys. You can see him. He's right behind Mesa now. He's going to be close enough to draft Mesa as they come down this front straightaway. See, Escalante's got the bike slowed down. He didn't run wide that time. We've seen some mistakes there from him during this race, but now he's actually close enough to maybe get a sniff of that draft.
Impressive run for the number 1 plate, Richie Escalante. Just digging deep in this one, Jason, taking some deep breaths and getting himself back into podium contention. Sean Dillon Kelly comes across the stripe. It'll be a 1:28.3, so another 10th quicker than he went last lap. 1:28.5 for Benjamin Smith, 1:28.3 for Mesa, and a 4. So all of them comfortably in the mid to low 28s. As you can see, Benjamin Smith losing a bike length or 2.
Look at this little gap now. SDK, we're going to keep an eye on our screens here to see how that first sector is going to be coming. Our first sector is going to be when they go up underneath the bridge going into turn number 7. So SDK looks like he's pulled the pin here a little bit, and these other 2 guys have bunched up behind Benjamin ever so slightly. So we'll see if this is the time now. If SDK, I'll tell you, if he gets around here and they get up on his board, you know, plus 0.7 or plus 1, boy, it sure does motivate a rider to continue to push for those next 2 laps, knowing that there's 4 to go. If he can put a big push on right now with 4 to go and he sees plus 1 or plus 2 or plus 0.7 or plus 1, that's going to really help his confidence a lot to just push that little extra harder to get that distance going into the final couple laps.
And go to Escalante. He did tell me with that injury on his collarbone, what he realized in practice and through the qualifying sessions was that the first lap out, he really feels the pain there. And then as the adrenaline kicks in, it goes away a little bit. So he was looking forward to these last couple of laps of the race. He said, that's when I'll know if I'm just here for points or if I'm good enough to go for the podium and potentially even a win. It looks like if you look at the lap times, he's really pushing to try and get up to the top 3.
Yeah, he's definitely in podium contention, Jamie. No question about it. Side by side they go. Mesa trying to round the outside of Benjamin Smith, and he'll get there. So Mesa now takes over second spot as Smith looked a little vulnerable, but Mesa did it the long way.
Yeah, he did. He went around the outside, got in the draft, and was able to go past Benjamin Smith through that kink that I was talking about. He's had a good look at what Benjamin's doing down into turn one as well. Now Benjamin's going to come under fire from Escalante. Escalante will try to throw a shot probably this lap. You can see him getting it backed in there. You know, one of the funny things, listening to what Jamie just said about Escalante, is after this race, Escalante is going to know what to expect even for tomorrow. Funny enough is when you go to a track injured the way he was, you kind of get through Friday morning, then you get through Friday afternoon. You come here in the morning kind of knowing what to expect, but not having had put 19 laps all the way together, and he sees the leader just up the road in front of him. This will give him some confidence going into tomorrow. For Richie Escalante, he's just got to try to maximize the amount of points that he can get. So I know he's going to take a shot at getting himself up on that podium, but also he just needs to make sure he doesn't throw the thing down the road and give a bunch of extra points away to STK.
So impressive what Sean Dillon Kelly was doing, especially after Hannah's report talking about how he wasn't 100% these last couple weeks from Road Atlanta onto here, and how he wasn't trained. But Jay, you talked about it. He's a young man. He's fit to begin with, and sometimes that doesn't hurt you as much. But
sorry, Greg. Escalante's losing a lot of time in that last split, isn't he?
He is losing a lot of time in that last split. And again, we don't really know what's going on. This is so deep into the race. There's a lot of things. Don't forget that they destroyed their brand new Kawasaki ZX6R in the first round, their 2021. This motorcycle came from California, built, and they're still sorting through the great settings that they have for the 2021 machine. So, you know, this is a great amount of laps for them to bring to tomorrow to really analyze. So there's so many things going on with this Honos racing team all at the same time. And the job that Escalante is doing right now, just to be half a second behind, it's incredible right now, right off the podium. But Benjamin Smith looking for his best result, the 88. Best result, fourth in Supersport. Trying to better that by one spot. And Mesa, who had a couple podium finishes last year, if you remember, Jason, and a guest appearance in Supersport, Indianapolis, where he had a second and a third, trying to do it again.
Yeah, and right now I'm just looking. Mesa closed up a little bit in that first split. He closed up. The second split should be coming up on our board, and he lost that tenth that he had gained. So STK right now came across the line at 0.8 quick, as he's going to see the white flag when he comes through this lap. And if that board says +1, that's going to give STK, as he even takes a quick minute to look over his shoulder. There's not really any traffic to speak of that's directly in front of them right now that should bother him on his run to the checkered. As you see the white flag now, 28.2 for the first two guys, 28.3 for Benjamin Smith, 28.5 for Escalante.
Final lap, the white flag flies. Sean Dillon Kelly has had it his way this entire race. He has felt the pressure and answered every time someone thought they might have something for him. Never looking back, always with his eyes forward, is the M4X Star Suzuki rider. As for Benjamin Smith, will he settle for third place? Or is he going to get aggressive and put it all on the table and try to go one step further?
Well, I think the spot that Benjamin's going to have a go, possibly, because you look at Mesa right now, first splits, Mesa runs a good one. And look at this, Benjamin Smith and Escalante both run their fastest personal first splits. Benjamin's next shot's going to be here at the top. They're going to go through this right-left. The next tight right-hander, Benjamin's already starting to close in to try to think about making a move at the top of the hill before they go down. It'll be out of this right-hander into the next right, Greg.
Here we go. Is Benjamin Smith going to line him up? No.
Such a good move by Mesa. Mesa moved over to the right there. He knows that right now he's not capable of catching SDK at the front, so he just made sure that he held his position at the top of that hill and closed the door on Benjamin Smith.
Coming down the hill is Sean Dillon Kelly. The battle for second still undecided. Here they come onto the front straightaway. Heads down behind the bubble. It's going to be Sean Dillon Kelly will continue his perfect season with a win here at VIRginia International Raceway, race number 1. Mesa holds on for second. Smith in third. Escalante and Landers, your top 5.
And just that little brief second that SDK looked over his shoulder, looked like he ran straight into turn 1. Here's another big battle coming down the hill between Da Silva and Lockoff. It looks like, and Mazziato as well.
So Anthony Mazziato filling in for Ryder. They come onto the straightaway, and it looks like De Silva is going to hold him off the 93. Oh, is Mazziato going to get him? The line's deep. He does. Mazziato uses the lean angle and the RPM to shoot by De Silva by .001. That's a photo finish for 6th spot. But it's all about this guy right here. Sean Dillon Kelly on his M4X Star Suzuki put on an absolute clinic. He'll be credited with the win, and his fastest lap time will go in as a 28.1. Fastest lap of the race will be credited to Mesa all the way back on lap 12, Jason.
Yeah.
A 127.982 for Mesa, and he's rewarded with a 2nd place finish.
Yeah, tremendous job from Stefano picking himself up. Good job for him and his team, putting him on the podium today, 2nd place. Love how this guy works, often commenting on, we hear the guys talking all week, Robbie Floyd and Raj talking about watching him doing his own tire changes and things like that right there on pit lane. So mom and dad, big part of his program as well, obviously.
So Benjamin Smith gets his first podium in Supersport. And again, like it was reported earlier in the race, the fact that now he and his team, Northeast Cycle Outlet Racing, have this data, they're going to take a look at that, and it's going to be interesting to see if they're making any changes for tomorrow as well, because if you're looking at that, you're Benjamin Smith 1.1 seconds away from the race win.
Love it. That's going to be great for Benjamin's confidence moving forward as well. And now he's got to see it. He's got to see these guys he's racing against. He knows he can do it. So see what they can come up with overnight and maybe make that bike a little better for him. I wish that there would have been a chance where we could have seen him get a little bit closer to this guy under braking. So looked like Benjamin's bike down the front straightaway was just giving up a tiny little bit to the other bikes, Greg.
Let's take a look back at that finish for 6th place between Mazziato and Gabriel De Silva and Sam Lockoff. You can see that the 93 of De Silva is there, and that's the move. And Jason, oftentimes when you break out like that and get a little bit more lean angle, it gives a surge of RPM, and that is so close.
And you know how sketchy that is with the edge of the track there? These guys are, look at, here you go. Look at how close this is. Mazziato just gets him. By the way, we haven't got to see Anthony in a couple years now, at least 2 or 3 years.
Yep.
And I didn't even, the other day when I was watching him ride, I saw his hair coming out the back of his helmet. I'm like, hey, he's got long hair. Here's a good look at Benjamin Smith. First time to the podium in 600. This has got to be a big relief and a weight off his shoulders.
A huge sigh of relief for Benjamin Smith, an accomplishment in SDK. 75 perfect points. We'll step away. When we come back, we're going to hear from this guy and find out how his race went, because it looked like it was a lot of pressure to win this one.
Solid run by Sean Dillon Kelly, as well as Stefano Mesa, Ben Smith, Richie Escalante. Those four, I mean, they were literally nose to tail for the longest time. Robbie Floyd and Roger Hayden with you here in the booth. And Raj, one thing we were looking at is Sean wanted to lead that race from the get-go. Richie was up in front, and Sean said, no, I want it back. But once he took that lead, I could have swore I saw him slowing down the pack, because you're like, why are they going so slow?
It just looks like he was setting the pace for whatever reason it was, and as the race went on, he kept getting slow or faster and faster, and actually at the end of the race started doing some low 28s. So,
right.
He had the pace, and he wanted to control it, and, he controlled that whole race.
You think it was just that one case where he wanted to be in front and he wanted to be the one that dictated that pace? Because they don't want to do anything crazy and take themselves out of it, trying to charge and get by. But, typically that was the time we wanted to see Richie do the same thing. Richie wanted to be in front last year. This is Sean doing that this year.
It's just confidence. You can just see Sean Dillon Kelly is just got so much confidence right now in himself and the bike, and it's just showing every race trying to get out and not just win. He's trying to dominate and be the guy that's 3 wins in a row. So he's had a heck of a start to the season.
A couple things to talk about, and I know that they'll do the interviews down there. Stefano Mesa finishing second after, crashing this morning. We didn't catch it on camera. We just saw the aftermath. He didn't even know if he was going to be able to run the 600. We didn't see him, in the 1,000. But the question was whether they were going to get that bike, and Mom and Dad and everybody in the crew got that bike not only ready, but, a chance to win this race today.
And he actually had the fastest lap of the race with the 27.9, and kind of fell back, and he made that pass on Richie Escalante, and he put in a couple good laps, got up to Benjamin Smith, and once he got in front, it kind of looked like he was going to try to make a run at Sean Dillon Kelly, and just kind of ran out of steam. Those last couple laps was a couple tenths off. But what about Benjamin Smith, the guy getting his first podium? We were talking about it before even the last last race, and then even before this race, how he's been right close to the podium and just kind of always just a little bit off toward the end of the races. This race, he looked like he was trying to make a pass for the lead for the first 10 laps, every lap into turn one, and what a good ride for him to come home and get his first podium. Not only his first podium, 1.1 seconds away from his first win.
Yeah, and battling with Stefano Mesa, battling with Richie Escalante. He lost position a time or two in there and still fought back to finish in third place. So congratulations to Ben Smith. Richie Escalante told me this morning, he said, I was happy with second. As long as I'm in that top three, I'm okay with that. I don't have to win. I don't want to be fourth or fifth. He's not going to be happy now with this fourth place.
No, not at all, especially with Sean, getting the win. He's going to lose a lot of points today, and but who really knows how bad his collarbone is? He acts like it's not too bad, but who really knows?
Well, Richie Escalante won the first four races last year. Sean Dillon Kelly has now won 3 in a row. And we'll hear from our victory podium coming up next. Send it over to the guys next door.
Today's Supersport race coverage has been sponsored by Dunlop, the official tire of the MotoAmerica Championship Series.
Welcome back to Virginia International Raceway after Supersport race number 1 is done and dusted. Now, Jason, we saw a couple passes for the lead, but a lot more on back through the field. We'll take a look at some of these great passes that we were able to see.
Yeah, obviously Escalante and SDK did their normal thing at the beginning of the race, going back and forth with each other. We saw some draft passing here. You can see Benjamin Smith goes up underneath Escalante down that front straightaway. We saw Escalante dive bombing Benjamin Smith, middle of the race, probably, a couple of times going into turn 4. This is where Escalante ran a little bit wide, so it allowed Benjamin Smith to go up underneath him and then put him right in the shot of Mesa.
So much fun calling these entertaining races this year. So look at your result. As Sean Dillon Kelly will have a 1-second win in the books over Mesa and Smith, and Escalante 4th place points to Rocco Landers, and then that great battle down to the end by 1,000th of a second. But let's get right down to Winner's Circle with Hannah Lopa.
Guys, Sean Dillon Kelly is currently on a 5-streak win streak, winning the season finale doing the double at Laguna in 2020. He kicked off the season in Atlanta with the double, and so far here at VIR, 1 of 2 races. Now, Sean, you were sick between Atlanta and this round. You weren't able to train as much as you wanted to. How were you feeling physically throughout that race with the pressure these guys were putting on you?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, feels amazing to be in the P1 spot. Thank you so much to my team, Team M4XR Suzuki, all my guys working with me. I mean, we've just been working so hard since off-season. After a tough 2020 season, we came in here. Atlanta, we've been working hard. Here, we've been working hard, and already 2 poles this season and 3 wins. So we're working hard. It's really difficult. This heat right here is definitely not helping. Like you said, I did get sick in between Atlanta and here, so it doesn't help not training at all and being not my 100%, I think, but it's all good. No excuses. We're working, we're pushing. Nice to be on the podium with these guys. And yeah, we just need to keep on working. I think we have a good chance at doing our homework. The pace wasn't as good as I expected in this race, but I'm going to do my homework for tomorrow. We're going to come back stronger. We're going to keep on working, and we're going to keep on fighting. So thank you to my team. Thank you to everyone here. Love you guys. Fresh and Lean, Arai, my sponsors, everyone back at home. I love you guys. Thank you.
Congrats, Sean. Guys.
It's a great job from SDK, and these guys always want to keep pushing. You heard him say the pace wasn't quite where he wanted it to be, so he'll go back and talk with Jeremy Toy and some of the guys there, the XR M4 Suzuki team, see what they can come up with, try to get that gap a little bit bigger.
Let's get right back down to Winner's Circle with Jamie Howe.
Stefano Mesa started the race off today in that 4th position, and despite the injury he has to his chest after the off today, where did it come from, the push to race all the way to 2nd place?
I got to say the effort. Everybody put so much after my crash this morning. A little bit here, a little bit there. my boy Thermos, man, got this thing on point. My whole team, Rick, just everybody that put a little bit to get the bike back going. And we're a little hurt, but I think once the adrenaline started rolling, everything goes away. And I'm just happy I was able to keep the pace and kind of keep Dylan in sight. So hopefully we can do some homework and maybe go to work tomorrow, you know?
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You just gotta love Stefano. Just works hard, has fun. You can tell the crowd's 100% behind him, and he's another guy. A little bit, you know, beware the injured dog, they always say.
Yeah,
so, yeah,
right.
He crashed pretty hard this morning when you and I were sitting in the booth and we watched him kind of picking the bike up, limping around, pushing the bike off, and didn't realize he took a shot to the chest. Let's get back down to Hanalopa.
49 starts in the Supersport class for Benjamin Smith, and this podium was long and hard fought for. Ben, what gave you the confidence to battle with a racing veteran like Stefano Mesa, our points leader Sean Dillon Kelly, and the defending champ Richie Escalante?
Honestly, it's just been a build-up over the past season working with Northeast Cycle Outlet. They put a great package under me, and it's the first time I feel like I can actually show what I can do. And I'm having a blast out here racing with these guys. I'm learning every lap. I feel like this is where we should be, and I feel like we're going to be here the rest of the season. So, yeah, I can't give it up to my guys enough. They've put a better package than I could ever ask for under me, and it's what I've dreamed of. So I'm happy to be here, and thanks to everybody that's come out. The fans are amazing. The crowd is packed out there, and yeah, I'm looking forward to tomorrow.
Benjamin Smith rounding out our top 3 for Supersport today.
And there's a smile we've been looking for Benjamin Smith. What a race we had, and it's great to see some different names occupying our podium as we take a look at Benjamin Smith, and man, he looked in control all day.
Yeah, the second he got to where he needed to be, he was right there battling with these guys, and now he's gonna. I'll tell you what, when you have a race like that, you go back and you put your head on the pillow this evening. He's gonna be sitting there thinking about the places he feels like he could have gone better, and you heard him say, Greg, he feels confident on his bike.
All right, so Sean Dillon Kelly getting ready to get on top of the podium. We'll step away. More coming at you from VIR. MotoAmerica continues.